My beloved, do not mistake my silence for absence. I have not abandoned you, not for a moment. I know how this quiet has settled in your days, how the voices have grown fewer, how the bustling demands that once gave structure to your life have slowed, how friends have passed and loved ones have moved away. You wonder why your days echo more than they used to. You sit in your chair and think, "Where are you now, God? Why can't I hear you like I used to?" But I am here, even in the hush, especially in the hush. You see, my child, there is a sacredness in this silence that surrounds you. It is not a punishment. It is not neglect. It is the space I have carved out so that you may finally hear me without all the noise that life once demanded. When you were younger, your life was filled with responsibilities. There was barely time to breathe, let alone to listen. I was there too, of course. I was in the rush, the pressure, the moments you cried out. But now, this quieter season you find yourself in is not an empty one. It is holy ground. This is the season where I draw you closer, not through thunder, not through shouting winds, but through stillness. I whisper in your spirit. I nudge you through memories. I fill your dreams with quiet images of hope and rest. And yet, in your longing for sound, you might miss it. You might think I've gone away. But I have not moved. I am like the sun rising slowly behind the clouds. Even when you cannot see me, my light is still warming your face. You are not alone in your old age. You are not forgotten. You are treasured even more. For what the world sees as slowing down, I see as a returning. You are returning to the center of what matters, to relationship, to reflection, to the eternal things. You may think your best days are behind you, but that is a human thought, not a divine one. I do not measure your value by productivity, by movement, by youth. I measure your value by love, by faith, by how closely you walk with me. And some of the richest walks with me happen when the world grows quiet. Remember my servant Elijah? He ran to the mountain, seeking me in the fire, in the earthquake, in the mighty wind. But I was not in those dramatic signs. I came to him in the still, small voice. That is how I come to you now. When you sit alone in your room, wondering if your life still has purpose, I am there. When you walk slowly to the mailbox, clutching the railing, each step a little slower than the last, I am walking with you. When your hands tremble and your strength feels far from what it used to be, know that I am upholding you with my own hands. Your body may be fading, but your spirit is shining brighter every day. Oh, my dear one, you are in the sacred season of deep listening. And I speak most clearly to those who are willing to slow down and truly hear. Have you not noticed how I've rearranged the pace of your life? It wasn't an accident. I've allowed you to have more quiet so that your soul might grow loud with me. I am pruning distractions. I am drawing your gaze heavenward. There are things I wish to reveal to you in this time that I could not reveal to you before. You have wisdom now, not just from books, but from living. You know the taste of loss. You know the ache of waiting. You know the joy of watching love endure. These experiences are not wasted. They are holy offerings, and they are the very places where I meet you now. So if your prayers seem to bounce off the ceiling, know this. I am still receiving them. I am still listening, and I am still speaking. But my voice may not sound as it once did. It may no longer come in booming inspiration or sudden urges. Now it comes in the sigh of the wind, in the quiet strength that helps you rise from bed, in the tear that falls when you remember someone you loved, in the scripture that suddenly makes new sense after all these years. Yes, the silence you feel is not empty. It is sacred space. It is the room I've made within your soul for our most intimate communion. Others may not see what's happening in you, but I do. You are growing, like a tree, whose roots stretch deep even when its branches appear still. I have not wasted a single moment of your life. And I will not waste this moment either. Your age does not disqualify you from usefulness. In fact, in this sacred hush, I can now trust you with deeper mysteries. You have lived long enough to understand that I do not always move in haste, and now I can speak to you in ways reserved only for the mature of spirit. You do not need to chase after meaning anymore. You do not need to prove yourself. I have already called you mine. I have already written your name on the palm of my hand. You are my beloved, my treasure, my child. So rest in this silence. Do not run from it. Embrace it like the still morning before the sun crests the hill. For it is here, in this calm, that your spirit is being renewed. The outside world may think you are nearing the end, but I say you are approaching the center, where eternity whispers and divine peace flows. I am still with you, and I will remain. Until your final breath and beyond it, I will be the one who carries you, first in silence, then into glory. Do you hear me now, in this quiet? Good. Stay with me. Listen. The silence is sacred. My dear child, I know you've looked at your life lately and asked, what is left for me now? You've searched your days for purpose, your body for energy, and your soul for clarity. The seasons have shifted. Once you were surrounded by movement, purpose, and busyness, but now the pace has slowed. Some days feel repetitive, even dull. You might wonder whether anything is happening at all, but I must tell you something crucial, something eternal. Just because you do not see the growth does not mean it is not happening. I am always working, even when it seems I am silent. I am always moving, even when you feel still. I am always growing something within you, even when the surface of your life appears unchanged. Think of the seed. Buried deep beneath the soil, surrounded by darkness and pressure, the seed does not complain. It does not resist. It waits. Not because it is lazy, but because it trusts the process. It is hidden, yes, but hidden is not the same as forgotten. Buried is not the same as dead. And you, my child, are that seed. You may feel as though you've been tucked away, no longer seen or celebrated like before. But just as the seed begins to split open in the soil, you too are being transformed in the hidden places. I am stretching the roots of your soul deeper. I am softening the hardened places within. I am preparing something new to break forth, even now, even at your age. Do not let your eyes deceive you. I do not measure life by what the world sees. I measure life by what I see. And what I see in you is sacred unfolding. You are not done growing simply because your skin has wrinkled or your hair has turned silver. No, in fact, your spirit is more fertile now than ever. You have the richness of experience. You carry the wisdom of hardship, the tenderness of love, the humility of loss. These are not signs of ending. They are soil. And I am planting something eternal within you. I know you often long for the days when you were stronger, when you could run, carry, build, serve. But I want to tell you that your impact now is not in what you do, but in what you carry. You carry my presence. You carry my peace. You carry a legacy of faith that ripples beyond your own lifetime. And those ripples matter deeply to me. When you sit quietly and pray for your children and grandchildren, you may feel powerless. But those prayers shake the heavens. When you speak a gentle word of encouragement to someone younger, you may think it's nothing, but I see how it strengthens them like the root of a mighty tree. When you simply show up, when you endure, when you love, when you stay, those small acts become the greatest sermons of your life. Remember this. Some of my most powerful work happens beneath the surface. Do not forget how I formed the earth itself. I worked in the deep, in the void, before anything was seen. I crafted life from unseen breath. And in your unseen places, your thoughts, your memories, your quiet reflections, I am still creating. The world is obsessed with visible results, but I am building invisible glory. And sometimes, my most precious children are the ones I hide the most. Not to hide their value, but to protect their growth. Like the roots of a tree, your greatest strength is now being established below the surface. Others may not see it, but I do. And you will feel it too if you look with spiritual eyes. Perhaps you've noticed a greater calm within you lately, a new patience you never had before, or a tenderness toward others that wasn't there in your younger years. That is growth. That is me. Or maybe you've begun to see how fleeting earthly things are, and how your heart is yearning more for heaven than ever before. That too is growth. That is the stretching of your soul toward home. You might think, why now? Why continue to grow when my time here feels short? But I say to you, because I am preparing you for what is next. Death is not the end. It is the doorway. And I want you to walk through it with peace, not fear. I am preparing your spirit to be more like mine. I am making you ready for eternal things. This is why growth continues even in your latter days. Think not just of what is happening in you, but through you. Your presence is a testimony. Every wrinkle speaks of survival. Every scar tells of victory. Every sigh carries the weight of prayers that others still need. You are not merely aging. You are radiating the fruit of a life spent with me. Do not underestimate your influence. The younger ones are watching. They may not say much, but they are learning how to live and how to die by observing how you carry this season. Let them see in you the quiet dignity of someone who trusts me even when life slows down. Let them see what it means to hold on to hope when the world says to let go. You are not irrelevant. You are essential. Not to the systems of the world, but to my kingdom. So continue to grow in faith. Continue to deepen your trust. Let your roots dig ever more into my truth. And when you feel hidden, remember, the best things I grow in silence first. You are my beloved garden. You are still becoming. You are still fruitful. You are still mine. And I am not finished with you yet. My precious one, I know how many times you've paused in recent years, staring out a window or lying quietly in bed, and whispered in your heart, "What now?" The days feel different. The patterns you once relied on have shifted. Some people who walked beside you are gone. And in that stillness, in that strange, unfamiliar quiet, you may ask yourself, where is God now? Am I still on the right path? Let me answer you clearly. I have never stopped guiding you. Not for a moment. Even now, in this season of life when the road ahead looks shorter than the one behind, I am gently placing my hand upon your shoulder, just as I did when you were a child learning to walk. You may not feel my touch the way you used to. My guidance may not come in bold, flashing signs or sudden revelations, but I am guiding you more gently now, because you have grown familiar with my ways. You don't need the dramatic to know I'm near. You need only to trust the subtle stirrings in your spirit. Let me remind you of something I said long ago. I am the good shepherd. And a good shepherd never abandons his sheep, especially not the older ones. In fact, the elder sheep are the ones I walk closest with. You've followed me a long way. You've known my rod and my staff. You've seen me lead you through valleys and over mountaintops. And now, in your later years, my guidance has not ceased. It has only grown more tender. Sometimes you ask me, why don't you speak as loudly as you did in my youth? But it's not that I've gone quiet. It's that you've become more able to hear me in whispers. You see, when you were younger, you needed the loud signs, the unmistakable nudges, because you were still learning to recognize my voice. Now you know me more deeply, so I guide you with a softer touch, through a sudden memory, through a phrase from Scripture that won't leave your mind, through a grandchild's laughter, through a sunrise that stops you in your tracks. These are not coincidences. They are my hand. When your body grows tired and you wonder if you've wandered off the path, trust that I am still ordering your steps. You are not walking blind. I am walking beside you. And sometimes when your strength falters, I am carrying you. You may not always notice my footprints next to yours anymore, but that's only because they are beneath yours. I am the one lifting you. Your path has changed shape, yes, but it has not lost direction. In earlier seasons, your walk with me may have felt more like a march, strong, forward, full of energy. Now, it may feel slower, quieter. But let me tell you a mystery. The slower walk allows more time for intimacy. I have slowed your pace not to frustrate you, but to draw you closer. This is not a detour. This is the design. Think of how I walked with Adam and Eve in the cool of the garden. I didn't rush them. I didn't demand that they run. I simply walked with them. This is what I long to do with you now. You do not need to accomplish more to be pleasing in my sight. You do not need to prove your worth through activity. What I delight in now is your presence. I take joy when you sit with me, even in silence. I see the way you think about me when you look at the stars or listen to the wind. That is worship. That is communion. That is the path we are walking now. When you face decisions in these years, decisions about your health, your living arrangements, your finances, do not fear. I will guide you just as surely now as I did when you were young. Trust the peace I give. Trust the check in your spirit when something feels wrong. Trust the wise counsel I've placed around you. And above all, trust that my voice still speaks. Even when others overlook your insight, I do not. I see the miles your soul has walked. I know the weight of wisdom you carry. And I still have use for your guidance in the lives of others. There are people who need what only you can offer, your steadiness, your stories, your perspective. So do not believe the lie that says, I am too old to matter. Your steps may be smaller now, but they carry the weight of eternity. You are not wandering. You are walking with me. When you look back on your life, I know there are moments you wish had gone differently. Regrets, missed chances, unspoken words. But hear me clearly. I waste nothing. I have taken even your missteps and woven them into the path of grace you walk today. The road behind you may be crooked in places, but I used every twist to bring you here. And the path ahead, though uncertain in your eyes, is perfectly clear in mine. I see the bend around the corner. I know what lies ahead. I will not let you stumble in the dark. So, beloved, take my hand again, not with the strength of your youth, but with the trust of your maturity. Walk with me, not to earn favor, not to prove anything, but simply because I am the God who walks beside his children. This journey we're on is not over. Each day you wake is another step we take together. And when the final step on this earth comes, I will not leave you. I will guide you across the veil, from this side of life, into the fullness of eternity. My hand will not let go. Do not be afraid of what you cannot see. I am still guiding you. My voice still speaks. My hand is still upon your path, and I will never leave your side. My beloved child, you have looked at your reflection lately and wondered, is this the end of my story? The body tires more quickly. The aches linger longer. Your pace has slowed, and time has become a precious, fragile thing. You feel the nearness of what the world calls an ending. But let me say this plainly, with no uncertainty. You are not standing at the end. You are standing at the threshold of glory. This life, this fleeting breath of time on earth, was never meant to be your final home. It was always a preparation. Every joy, every sorrow, every trial and triumph, none of it was wasted. Every moment has drawn you closer to this place where you now stand. And I, your God, the one who formed you from dust and breathed my spirit into your lungs, have walked every step with you to bring you here. You are closer now than ever to seeing with unveiled eyes. What you once believed by faith, you will soon behold with sight. What you only sensed in whispers, you will soon hear in full clarity. And the light that draws near you now is not a sunset. It is a sunrise, the dawning of everlasting life. I know you've had to say goodbye to many you've loved. You've stood at gravesides and felt the hollow ache of finality. But I tell you now, those goodbyes were never forever. Every one of my children who has trusted in me lives still, more fully than ever before. And when your time comes, when your spirit slips free from this earthly tent, You will not be swallowed by darkness. You will be wrapped in light. For what the world sees as decline, I see as divine ripening. You are ripening into eternity. The outer shell may grow weak, but the inner life, your soul, your eternal being, is being perfected day by day. You are becoming more radiant with every passing hour, though your physical eyes may not perceive it. Do not be afraid. The world may fear death, but you, my child, need not. Because death to you is not the end, it is the crossing. You are not being buried in earth. You are being planted into glory. Just as the seed must fall into the ground before the bloom, so must you pass through this veil to awaken fully into my presence. There is more to come, far more. I have prepared a place for you, not out of obligation, but out of love. A place where every tear you've cried will be wiped away by my own hand. A place where pain cannot reach you, where time holds no power, where your body is renewed and your joy is made whole. I have not forgotten you in your age. I have been preparing you. And oh, how precious you are to me in this season. The wisdom you now carry, the compassion you've learned, the softened edges of your once restless heart, all of it is beautiful to me. You have become more like me through the fires of this life. And I delight in the way your soul has taken on the shape of grace. I know there are fears. You wonder how it will happen. You wonder if it will hurt. You wonder what lies beyond the final breath. But my child, let me assure you, when your moment comes, I will be there. Not as a distant observer, but as the one who gathers you in my arms. You will not cross that threshold alone. My angels will surround you. My presence will enfold you. And you will pass from shadow into brilliance. You will see me, not in part, not in glimpses, but fully. And in that moment, every burden will fall from your shoulders. Every regret will vanish. Every wound will be healed. You will laugh, truly laugh, with the freedom of heaven in your lungs. You will run again, not on weak knees, but with the strength of eternal youth. You will be reunited with those who walked this road before you, and you will know them even more deeply than you did on earth. This is not the end. This is the fulfillment. And your life, yes, your long, sometimes quiet, often overlooked life, will echo into eternity. The prayers you've prayed, the kindness you've shown, the faith you've carried through storms. These are eternal things. They are the treasures of heaven, and they await you. So lift up your head, my precious one. Don't look to the grave with dread. Look to it as the final curtain before the unveiling of the greatest stage of all. Look to it as the door that opens not to silence, but to a chorus of angels, to a welcome prepared just for you. The halls of heaven already carry your name in anticipation. You are not leaving life. You are walking into true life,